Hello everyone and welcome to GoldenNova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. Which I normally get down on myself on because I, have work most of the day, but some of you have noted that I am the first person that you get the information from. You wait till you hear it from me, and that just makes my heart fuzzy. I just wanted to say thanks to everyone for that. Very important. Big congrats to all of you. Big congrats to me for having such cool people as you. Thank you so much. But now we have to get into my other great love. There's the people who support me, that make my dreams come true, and branded cards. They're both kind of, on the same level. Burst Protocol, not a side set. I thought when I heard, oh, new branded cards, oh yeah, we're getting more structured deck cards. No, this is in a core set. Burst Protocol is getting us 2 new branded cards, and we actually have a V-Jump promo on the way, so the push is big. Let's see what the new Albaz cards have to offer us, and then we'll also cover everything that I haven't covered so far this week up till those Twin Thunder people. So we have a lot to cover, including the Elvennotes lore, so I'm looking forward to seeing where that fits in to the Artmage continuity, Medius continuity, technically. Okay, first is Fallen of the White Dragon. Folks, they gave my boy Albaz some L'Oreal. He's worth it. He is definitely worth it. What's, like, his entire outfit is just, like, he is branded in white, so they've changed his color scheme to fit that. So pretty. So pretty. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Wait, what's that in the background? What's that up there? Oh, I don't know what that's up. Maybe I'm making shapes out of nothing, but that looks like something up in the top right of the card. Anyway, Fallen of the White Dragon, level 4 Dark Dragon effect monster, 1800 attack, 0 defense. This card is always treated as Fallen of Albaz. Ooh, this is different from the cards that are treated as Albaz in certain places. This is not Albaz the Ashen. Oh, we have an actual factual alternative to playing Super Poly Albaz. It also means you can't play both of them at the same time at the maximum allowed copies. But, I always felt like if the Albazes that existed had different effects, I wouldn't be upset about it. Okay, so always treated as that. First and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Oh, the bad news is that in Domain, you do have to ask to rule 0 if you want to play both of them, because the rule is that it's a singleton copies, and like how in Yu-Gi-Oh's actual core game, you can't play 3 copies of Umi and then any of the cards that are always treated as Umi. The same thing is here. Singleton copies include cards that are always treated. So ask your play group. Otherwise, you're stuck with either or. Okay, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, if this card is in your hand, you can send a monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz from your extra deck to the graveyard to special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except level 8 fusion and synchro monsters. We'll put a pin in that. 2, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon an Ecclesia monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. What do you mean? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so it sends from the extra deck, which is crazy because most of the fusions just have great effects during the end phase when they're in the graveyard. Special summons this card from your hand, and you're locked into level 8 fusion and synchro monsters. The majority of the Albaz fusions are level 8, including Mirror Blade, Ice Blade. Oh my god, where's my mind going? You know the one. All the Albaz fusions that you care to play are level 8, so you don't have to worry about that. There are some off-color fusion monsters that we can't play. Garura becomes off the table for the rest of the turn. You can't Guardian Chimera, but those are like Super Poly and branded in red targets respectively, and you don't play those during your own turn if you can help it. So this isn't that bad. But the important thing is that it allows for synchro monsters to be played, so you can tech in some of those Sword Soul related cards and still play them, which is going to come up in just a second because of the next card that we can see in the image. And then at summon you get an Ecclesia. So we have 2 of them presently. We have Dogmatica Ecclesia and Sword Soul Ecclesia, both of which are pretty neat. The first one locks out extra summoning entirely, which makes the restriction on Fallen of the White Dragon moot. But it does get you a Dogmatica card, and those are pretty solid. And then Incredible Ecclesia is the tuner monster that can go into presumably the synchro that's about to come up here. So hopefully it's good. And then the tuner tags into an Albaz, which this is, so now you can trigger that effect without... Wow, this is... what are we thinking, folks? 3 Fallen of White Dragon, 1 Fallen of Albaz? Signs point to possibly. Okay, Ecclesia of the Black Dragon, level 8 light spellcaster, synchro effect monster, 2500 attack and defense. Light spellcaster with attack equaling its own defense. Who could have seen that coming? That's crazy. It requires generic material. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase, and if you do, special summon a Fallen of Albaz or level 4 or lower monster that mentions it from your deck or graveyard. Gotta get to this. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target a level 8 fusion monster in your graveyard and banishment and 1 card on the field to shuffle both and this card into the deck. Okay. So you make Ecclesia of the Black Dragon and it does nothing. We don't get anything. Oh my god, this can special summon the synchro monster because it's an Ecclesia monster. Okay, so you make this, it does nothing. During any main phase, you bamf this out. You can get regular Fallen of Albaz to steal a monster to make a fusion monster, or a level 4 or lower monster that mentions it from your deck. So we are talking about Cartesia because that mentions it. We are talking about Quem. We're talking about the Golden Sword Soul doesn't count. Because we needed it in our hand to do what we wanted to do. We're talking about the second Ecclesia. No, first Ecclesia doesn't mention Albaz. That's a dogmatic... That's like a Titanic-lad thing. And that's not even a dogmatica thing. You can get the Kit. I think Kit mentions it too. Oh my... And this is generic? Generic? And then it recycles your fusions! 1 level 8 fusion monster in your graveyard or banishment, and any card on the field. So if it's in the graveyard, it'd be all like, hey, cool, I've got... And it shuffles them into the deck. It just... This might be good. This might actually be... This might be kind of good, actually. Wow. That's nonsense. Okay, I'm overhyping it because it's Albaz stuff. I know, that's me, but these cards are cracked. I love them. I love them so much. Holy cow, I can't wait to play both of these. I'm going to be so annoying with the tuners mean something now! You can do something before Branded Fusion, and make the synchro, and the synchro does something! And you can play it under Fallen of the White Dragon because it's a level 8 synchro buster. I'm going feral. This is so cool. This is so cool. I love this. This is great. Okay. Hold back some tears. We gotta go to the next one. We gotta talk about some other ones. Rescue Ace is getting some support. Now, I saw from Santi Online that the Link monster doesn't do much, if I remember what they said. But I didn't read any more than that, because I didn't want to spoil myself on anything. So I guess, and as not an expert on the theme myself, I don't think my say is definitive, but will my takeaway be that it is bad or that I am mistaken? We will see. Rescue Ace Quick Attacker, a level 3 Fire Warrior monster, 1400 attack and defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, you can shuffle 1 other Rescue Ace card from your hand or face-up field into the deck to special summon this card from your hand. Okay, that's something, I guess. It gets rid of the Rescue Ace card. It doesn't even pull from the graveyard, but there is a way to get it onto the field. You contribute this card. You cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except fire monsters. Also add a Rescue Ace monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon the added monster. Okay. So it summons from the hand, technically, in this regard. I guess this is a way to try to get Hydrant online without using your summon, but you are going -1 with it. I can see where that wouldn't be good, for sure. What about this Link monster? We have an extra deck card in Rescue Ace, and it looks like it'll cost a pretty penny. Rescue Ace Arbiter. Link 4, Fire Machine, 3000 attack. It doesn't equal its own defense. Well, gosh darn it, why are you even playing it? It's got the Borreload Dragon arrows, 2 to the side, 2 to the diagonal bottoms. Requires 2+ fire monsters as a material. Not bad. There are some pretty good Fire and Link monsters, as it turns out. You can only special summon copies of this card once per turn, and you can only use its second effect twice per turn. If this card is Link summoned, you can add a Hydrant or HQ from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I can dig getting the field spell. It's pretty nice with it. Second, if you activate a Rescue Ace, Quick Play, or Normal Trap card, you can target one card your opponent control on your opponent's field and destroy that target. Okay, so for those of you who are unaware, Turbulence sets 4 of your Rescue Ace spell or trap cards like every day. Like every turn, you just go boom, set them from the deck, use the field spell, recycle all of them, draw a card, then pull them all back out of the deck again, giving you buku's value. They're all already pretty good, and the Link monster says, yeah, and also I kill something whenever I activate 2 of them per turn. You can't activate any of them the turn that they're set because they're all quick plays, or all the spells are quick plays, so they follow the rules. You're going to set them, and they can't activate until a turn is changed. The Link requirements are pretty stodgy, though, I will say. I kind of wish this had been like Emperor Charles, right? Like it's a Link 1, but it requires a specific monster. Granted, the boss monster for Rescue Ace is kind of easy to summon, but at the same time, given what this card does, it's not like it's some enablers, but it's not a huge power buff, if that makes sense. Getting the materials for 2, like, is Promethean Princess still around? If Promethean Princess is around, getting to a Link 3 effectively gets you to this. And that's pretty good. But then you have to get to a 3, and... I don't know, Rescue Ace already seemed pretty material intensive as it was. I don't know, jury's out on this. I can see why this wouldn't be getting a ton of attention right now. Love the art, though. Holy cow. Look at them on their rollers. There's a little guy in the cockpit. He's got a little jetbird bike thing. I can hardly tell what's going on with the Link monster. It's just a different I don't know if it's a different version or if it's add-ons to the original. I still kind of dig it, though. No, these are fine. These are okay. I'm not losing my mind over them. Okay, Elvennotes lore. Okay, so we get the 3rd chapter of the Artmage storyline. We saw... I keep saying Artmage, the Medius story. It's because Artmage was the first one. Let's go check this out. Awaken Medius! The wishes of the Elvennotes echo throughout the dazzling holy forest, Oratorio Garden. Medius and his friends travel to Latera's home. Okay, so we weren't right about that. We knew that we were teleporting somewhere, but it's Latera, so it's associated with Latera. I forget if I said that in the video. I figured that it would be associated with her, or maybe I'm just making that up retroactively. In the face of Drastius' suicide. Okay, so he was trying to take them all down with him. Okay, cast a teleport spell at the last second on her and her friend. Okay, so we got that right. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. The gang falls from the sky in an incomplete teleport and are caught by a gigantic plant, the likes of which they've never seen before. It turns out this is Latera's homeland, a land that worships the great Earl King that sleeps amidst the flower buds, Oratorio Garden. Before he can take a breath, Medius is contacted by power patron Doom Z that was brought along in the teleportation spell. Medius, who has been touched by the power of 2 power patrons, finds his power go out of control, causing him to fall into a coma. Yeesh. With no solution in sight, Latera speaks up. The great Earl King might be able to grant a wish. The group heads through the forest, relying on Latera to lead the way, and end up meeting the Elvennotes, a holy choir that prays to the great Earl King. Elvennote Seraphim Stelitzia is the great Earl King who has been corrupted by Junora. No! Junora, the power patron of tuning. The power patron that schemes and plots its resurrection to the material realm. Okay, so we got another baddie, another bad power patron. So the Earl King is like the big Elvennote leader, but Junora is like, I'm gonna tune the shit out of you. You're gonna get so tuned you're gonna forget that you're not a bird person. Okay. I can't wait to get more high-res visuals of this. Okay, so what is the Doom Z thing trying to contact him with, though? When touched by the power, finds his power out of control, comes into a coma, is contacted by... But it doesn't say why they're being contacted. I guess they're still, like, disconnected or something. Interesting, interesting. Okay, well. This is good information to have for the future. Graflair's looking so good. I love that. I love that dork. Okay, well, yeah, Elvennotes video. Coming soon to a place near you. New Exosisters. I saw people going brazy for these, and to be fair, I mean, look at her. Just, okay. Oof. Anyway, let's take a look at Exosister Carmiel, a level 4 Dark Fairy Xyz monster with 2600 attack and 1800 defense, requiring 2 level 4 Exosister monsters as material. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, set an Exosister spell or trap card from your deck, graveyard, or banishment. Okay, so you just Xyz summon it. You get to activate the effect. You get to set a card at the end of turn. Cool, and it's a lingering one, so it doesn't have to stay on the field. When your opponent activates a normal spell or trap card or a monster effect as a quick effect, you can detach all material from this card, and if you do, the effect becomes add 1 card from your opponent's grave to their hand. Oh, really? Is that what the effect is? I'm going to read an Exosister card really quickly. Just off the cuff. I just want to double check because I know that the general Exosisters have a specific wording on them that's different for Martha. Martha's way easier to get the rank up on. Exosister. Okay, Sophia. If your opponent moves any cards out of either graveyard except in the damage step, you can special summon from your extra deck an Exosister Xyz monster. And then Martha says, if a card is moved out of either graveyard, you can special summon. Okay, so Martha is the one that just needs to see a card being moved out of either graveyard. The rest of the Exosisters need to see your opponent's card do it. And boy howdy, this card does say, let your opponent have a card from their graveyard. Now, so you're the Exosister player, and your opponent activates a card. And then you change the effect to add a card from your opponent's graveyard to their hand. So, as the Exosister player, you're getting the benefit of the card being added to your hand, but the opponent gets to pick. It doesn't say your opponent, like it doesn't say their choice or something. So they're going to give you the worst card out of your graveyard, but their card was still moving a card from a graveyard out of it. So, very funny. Very funny card. It's about time they had this. Cards that have relied on the opponent to activate certain trigger effects are usually very stymied by that, because even if it is something that is commonplace, the fact that it is telegraphed means people can play around it, and not every action that seems necessary is necessary, at least in the context of keeping those cards on the field. This is a very long rant to say that those effects are almost never effective. You need to have something that forces your opponent to do it as a backup, and Carmiel does that for us. It's even a pseudo-negate, which is the best way to do these kinds of things. Shout out to Abyss Actor, who are one of, I think, the greatest recipients of this kind of effect. I think next to, like, Dark World, but Dark World has had that. Dark World has known to do this since almost the very beginning, with things like Dark Deal, I think it was. I'm glad to see that we're seeing more of that now. Exosister Batmater. A continuous spell card. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. First, when this card resolves, add 2 Exosister monsters from your deck to your hand, then discard a card. That's amazing. That's amazing to have. Hold on a second. Yeah, Martha does just get to play if you have no monster. So you can get Martha, summon herself, get another Exosister. Ellis specifically, and then you're off to the races with your second Exosister monster that can just summon alongside the other ones. Second effect, you can target one face-up monster you control. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon an Exosister monster mentioned on it. I think that's cool. Don't they just do that anyway? Card, if you control Exosister Sophia... Da, 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 da. No, this is a different thing. Wait, some of them have, like... Ellis can special summon herself. Oh, they all do a different thing. Okay. So Irina and Sophia are linked. Yeah, Irina and Sophia are linked. Ellis and Stella are linked, and then Martha and Ellis are also linked for reasons I will not speculate on. Okay, so it's a way to get some normal summons. That's fine. It's a weird way to do it, but though granted, you might have an extra Exosister because you added 2 of them. Does one special summon if you have Ellis on board? Am I getting this right? No. Oh well. Okay. And third, if a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard, you can make your opponent banish one of them. Hey, wait a second. Make your opponent banish one of them. Is that making your opponent take a card out of a graveyard a little bit? I think it might be. Okay, so we have ways to force effects. These are cool. These are really cool. Do I think this makes Exosisters playable? Or do I dare say no? I think it helps. I think having cards that trigger their gimmick more reliably, even if you have to do it yourself, does up the floor of the deck. And we're just going to see more people playing it because hot, evil, nun, general lady. So, be on the lookout for you randomly pulling cards out of graveyards that you didn't mean to take cards out of. You didn't ask to do it, but it's happening nonetheless. Okay, quick aside, V-Jump promo, we have the 3 Brave Sword Souls. It's going to be light. It's going to be a Synchro Monster. It's going to be level 8, so it's compatible with the cards we talked about earlier. It's going to be a Spellcaster. If it's not a Spellcaster, I'm going to Mauled forever. Though I wouldn't say no to it randomly being a Worm Monster, but these are obviously Spellcasters. It's the 3 Spellcasters. Cool shit. Can't wait for this thing to be revealed. Oh my god, cool stuff. Okay, next up is Artmage non finito. Finmel is back and better than ever, and is another Artmage fusion monster that we can make. It's a level 7 Earth fusion monster with 2400 attack and 1500 defense, requiring any 2 Artmage monsters. So that's good. I forget what our Artmage fusions were beforehand. I think beforehand it was like one that needed Medius specifically, and then another one that needed 3 monsters. Yeah, the first one was Medius and an Artmage monster, so it was like exclusively Power Patron, get out Medius, fuse them together. I think that's how that works anyway. No, it's Medius, get out Power Patron, then fusion them, because Medius is what summons the Power Patrons. And then, yeah, Nerva is 3. So now we have a way to get our Power Patron onto the board and then fuse with any other Artmage. It must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by discarding a spell or trap card and attributing a level 7 or higher Artmage monster from your hand or field. Okay, so that works too. You can only special summon copies of this card once per turn, no matter which way you did that. Interesting. I have to... No. For a second, I wanted to double check the new Artmage cards that we saw in the last set, Doom of Dimensions, but they only trigger their ability to get you a new card if discarded by the effect of a field spell. Not anything. First effect, if this card is special summoned, you can set an Artmage spell or trap card from your deck. You can just get the card back. Second, once per opponent's turn as a quick effect, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control. Any fusion monster. Very fun. So that opens up the floodgates to a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure off the top of my head what exactly. I don't know if I'd want to make any on-theme fusions. It only uses cards we control as material. So... maybe this is just like a gateway to getting into Nerva. I would love to know what's going on in this picture. They're obviously embracing their superpowers, but I don't think any of this is... No. It's specifically Power Patron time, because we can see on the sword it has Nerva's like logo and wings and stuff. So they are borrowing the power of the Artmage Power Patron, which does kind of make sense because the beginning of all of this was a ceremony for her to take on the power of the Power Patron. So maybe this is that finally coming to fruition. I'm down with that. This is fine. The fact that you can summon it in an alternate way without having to do the fusion stuff is pretty nifty. You love seeing it. And it gives you more reason to play Finmail, even though I think Finmail was already pretty good. Okay, last we have Sheena, the Twin Storm Deities of Divine Thunder, a level 9 Wind Dragon monster. Will this be Magnificestorming support? Let's go to the polls. It's got 2,900 attack, 1,500 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a wind monster, seems pretty likely in Magnificestorming. As a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand and then apply the effect based on that card's type. If they activated a monster, return all face-up monsters on the field to the hand except copies of this card. And if it was a spell or trap card, return all spell and traps on the field to the hand. So it's Giant Trunade in there, but it's also something else. And then second, the first time this card be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. Not a particularly good additional effect, but the first one I think kind of makes up for it, right? If your opponent tries to storm off with monsters, then you just go, okay, we activated a monster effect, boo-hoo to you, all of them are being reset, and I have a big bungo on board. The returning all spell and trap cards on the field is a little rough, because if they activate any like continuous spell or field spell that gets them value, then they just get all of those back. You could also do all of that if you are keeping this in mind. But I think the monster effect one is going to be far more effective. The only problem here is that it reads like a card you can play on turn 0 up until the point where it asks you to control a wind monster, which is probably not going to happen during turn 0. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to figure out that I was very wrong later on, but that's not what we're talking about here. This is just a fine piece of support. I feel like this should play a little bit in Magnificestorming. It's certainly not terrible. It's got some removal. It resets your monsters so you can get any on summon effects again. What is with us printing this kind of effect on monsters with big stats? I guess if you turn it to defense position, it'll be safe one time, but like that's whatever. Okay, so going backwards here, fine piece of support, might be teched in, not necessarily a must include. I feel like this is a must include in any Artmage deck just for its added utility. It gets you into a fusion without ever having to see any of the fusion-esque cards. Granted, you need to have an Artmage card to summon Finmail out of your hand for free, so you need to have had something, but if it's one of the things that doesn't involve fusion stuff, you can summon her out and then go to town. And I guess it helps that you don't fusion summon her because they're not using 2 material. It's just the same number of monsters if you don't do the fusion too. Then go into fusion stuff. And notably, as an illusion I'm not gonna be mad. I'm right to be mad, but I'm not gonna be mad. As an illusion monster, that is going to help get your different types in order, because illusion is rare amongst these cards. I think only the boss is in illusion. So that's pretty helpful when it comes to making Nerva. Sword Soul, give it to us now. Give us the promo now. Exosister stuff, pretty solid support. Can't argue with it. It does a lot of stuff really well. I don't know if it's enough, but it does a lot of really good stuff. Elvennotes lore is really cool. The Rescue A stuff has got me wondering if the deck is still up there. And I love Gandalf, but also I love art. I love my branded support. Chat, pour me the brandy. I need some more of it. So good. But now before I completely lose myself in a fugue state of happiness. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Should we get Albaz a hair tie, or should we keep letting it flow loose? How do you feel about the new branded support cards? Are they really good, or is it getting weird now that we're incorporating synchros into our ostensibly fusion summon deck? And what about the other support cards here? Does the Dragon card make a good Magnificent card? Are Exosisters real again? And can Rescue Aces be rescued? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear all of your ideas, your theories, your combos, all that stuff. And until the next time Konami drops some juicy spoilers, I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout while helping out the channel. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media and the Critic of Innocence, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Charlie Mercury, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Meme King, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Boos, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sonic 21 Blast, That One Dumbass, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Anthorak, A Random Pup, Blade Runner 1034, Blaze Rider, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Christopher Fuss, again, Chris B, Cool Trainer Dark, Dr. Entity RIP, Eki Bullock, Edwin Perez, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, J.A. Flair, Julian Marquez, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Mr. Machina, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nicholas Murphy, Not Al Gore, Obsidian, Pombo, Rhyme Kairos, Rogue Wolf, Shizuka Nijimura, Simic Toadstool, Stephen Huntsman, The Legendary Raven, The Queen of Time, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Zaldreka and Zentha, as well as all the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.